Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. This is basically going to be an all David Schwartz episode of the Moon Lambo channel. Here's an interesting headline. Ripple CTO held 26 million XRP, says he never sold XRP for other crypto. And so there have been all sorts of assertions because it's the internet. And, you know, it can be a bit of a cesspool at times, but there are people claiming that he had literally billions of XRP, which is nonsense. He's claimed he hasn't. There's literally no evidence of that, but there are people claiming that he sold billions of XRP for ETH, all sorts of nonsense. And, you know, the assertions are what they are. And I understand the curiosity, given that, you know, David Schwartz is one of the creators of XRP itself and the XRP ledger. And then there's also this. I'm so tired of this. Ripple CTO bashes Cardano founder's reply on ETHgate, calls it ridiculous. Now, I'm going to assume that most of you at least have some understanding of what this topic is about, because it started a year and a half ago. Charles Hoskinson won't shut up his damn yapper. We will not stop saying the nonsense and the lies. I spent a ton of time creating a thread, which now has been widely circulated on social media platform X, and I highlighted it on at least 2 occasions in detail on my channel, which breaks down all of the lies from Charles Hoskinson, who is a co-founder of Ethereum and the founder of Cardano. He's saying all sorts of stuff, and woe is me, and the XRP community, oh, it's just bad people, and they're attacking me, and everything's a grand conspiracy, yada, yada, yada. And I've ripped apart all of his arguments. And what I did was I went to great lengths to actually transcribe everything he said in interviews, plastered it down, wrote about it, and went through in actual chronological order, highlighted everything. Then I highlighted the things that he claims were said and noted that it's actually a lie. Like, I've already done this, and I'm tired of this. But it is being widely discussed within the XRP community, so I feel obligated to at least talk about it, hopefully once, though. I'm tired of this topic on a personal level. But I understand that other people are interested. It's not just about me, so I'll still cover it. But it was interesting because I don't recall David, maybe he did talk about this in the past, I don't recall anything specific. And this was particularly poignant, let's say, the things that David Schwartz said to Charles Hoskinson. So you're going to enjoy. I'm tired of the topic. You're going to enjoy it, though. And I will say, even though I'm tired of the topic, it was fun reading what David Schwartz wrote. So I will say that. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, as a real quick table setter here, on April 16th, there was this article from the Crypto Basic. Ripple CTO says he's not a billionaire, holds 1 million to 10 million XRP. And so that was interesting, because up until this point, he never said, not in recent times, how much XRP he has. And so this narrows it down, sort of. I mean, it's kind of a big gap between 1 million and 10 million, right? But somebody asked him, and so he stated here, and this is actually kind of funny. He wrote, I am not a billionaire, because somebody claimed that he was a billionaire. He said, no, I'm not a billionaire, at least not yet. I still have to captain my own yacht, and my mansion is servant-free, which I thought was pretty funny. And so he reposted that on April 15th. And then in a separate post, when he was asked how much XRP he has, and this is November 24th of 2020, said, let's just say more than 1 million and less than 10 million. So we still don't know where exactly it is. And I remember many, many years ago, probably like over half a decade ago, I was listening to an interview from David Schwartz, and he was probably recorded in 2015, maybe 2016, and he disclosed freely without being, I don't even know if he was asked. If he was asked, then either it just came up or he was point blank asked and he had no reservations about stating it. But at the time, he had 16 million XRP. That's out there in the wild. That's publicly available information. That's not a secret, but he had 16 million XRP. But I never knew what the peak for him was. And you know what's interesting? Actually, I want to say this before I forget. This is what an interesting, maybe some of you know this, but David Schwartz actually, he was not given any XRP. even though he created it. He didn't get any XRP for free. Yeah, he created XRP in the XRP ledger with 2 other people. He didn't get any. You know, he not an owner of Ripple, and he was there from the beginning, mind you, of all of this. He was at the beginning of all of this. And my understanding is the reason that he didn't, it's not that he couldn't have or received that. That's my understanding. It's that he didn't want it. I think, I can't say this with absolute certainty just to be fully transparent here, but just based on what I had gathered in the past and to the best of my recollection, I think that he had concerns from a legal perspective because crypto was in its nascency back then. Think about this. They started working on XRP in 2012, and like the idea of it actually I think goes back to 2011 when Jed McCaleb came up with the idea to start building something like this. And so Bitcoin was all like 2 years old, roughly, a little over. But at that point, it wasn't really clear, is the government going to come down on all this stuff with a hammer? And in the early years, the government largely, from at least on a federal level, kind of ignored it. Maybe more than they wish they had at this point, or at least some of the people. So he actually didn't get anything free. So all the XRP that he ever had, he bought with his own money. And it ends up he had at his peak 26 million XRP. He just disclosed that. Here's a brand new article from the Crypto Basic with the headline indicating as much, which reads as follows. Ripple CTO David Schwartz has publicly declared he used to hold 26 million XRP, noting he never liquidated his XRP tokens to acquire other cryptocurrencies. Schwartz made this disclosure recently on X while engaging in a debate with Charles Hoskinson, more on that in a little bit, the founder of Cardano. During the conversation, Schwartz and Hoskinson had a stern disagreement, sparking intrigue from some community members. "Billionaires arguing, good lord," remarked an X user. However, Ripple CTO refuted the billionaire title, a trend he has persistently held onto. Meanwhile, another commenter went on to claim that Schwartz sold billions of XRP to buy Ethereum tokens, as purportedly established in a statement from the SEC. On this premise, the Ripple executive set the record straight by disclosing his XRP holdings while dispelling the billionaire status persistently misattributed to him. In particular, Schwartz revealed that he had approximately 26 million XRP when he held more cryptocurrencies. This disclosure suggests that the Ripple executive now holds less XRP than during his peak holding period. Yeah, and so we do know that for sure. And then it says, furthermore, the Ripple CTO asserted that he liquidated some of his Bitcoin holdings to acquire XRP and ETH. However, he noted that he has never sold XRP tokens to acquire other cryptocurrencies. Except for some unusual purposes, I don't think I've ever sold XRP to buy another cryptocurrency, Schwartz revealed. And so here's the actual post. He wrote, at my peak holding, I had about 26 million XRP. I sold Bitcoin to buy XRP and ETH. I don't think I've ever sold XRP to buy another crypto except maybe unusual purposes, so on and so forth. And then there was also this. Somebody asked him, so do you just sell XRP when you need money? And I would doubt that that is the case, but I would have guessed the no anyway, especially based on what I'd seen him write in the past. And he wrote the following literally yesterday, and he said stuff like this before. In fact, he linked to a post where he said something very similar. He said, when I originally discussed holding cryptocurrencies with my wife, we agreed to adopt a reasonable risk minimization strategy. I've followed this arrangement, selling Bitcoin and XRP as each new all-time high was hit. And so folks, think about that. Isn't that an interesting strategy? With all the volatility in between, he's just holding it. Now that I think, I never thought about it like that, but he basically has the same investment strategy as me. It's very, very similar, right? So I was here in 2017, and I hadn't accumulated enough XRP for me to be interested in selling regardless, even though I assumed it was a bubble and was going to pop, and I was correct about that. But the strategy overall, that's how I'm looking. So once, I'm not going to sell a single XRP until a new all-time high is hit and we enter price discovery. Then I'll start scaling out. It's just interesting that he's being an adult, and which isn't surprising, but looking at it in a similar way, and not behaving like the typical lemming retail speculator. And then he says, I'm naturally a very risk-averse person. I don't really feel my wins, and my losses really sting. I still have more risk left than I'm comfortable with, but obviously I can't really complain. Yeah, and I've seen him talk about stuff like that before, and too many eggs in one basket as it pertains to cryptocurrency with XRP, and his career, being at Ripple and all that stuff. And I totally sympathize with that. But at least it's been highly prosperous to this point because he's been in crypto practically from the beginning, right? And then this freaking headline. Ripple CTO bashes Cardano founders' reply on ETHgate, calls it ridiculous. The dispute between Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson and Ripple CTO David Schwartz over the controversial ETHgate has heated up, with Schwartz recently shading Hoskinson. In a recent tweet, Schwartz expressed frustration over Hoskinson's ridiculous reply, and that's a quote, to concerns about the SEC's inconsistent treatment between Ethereum and XRP. According to Schwartz, Hoskinson has repeatedly dismissed the idea that the SEC's favorable regulatory stance on Ethereum impacted the agency's stringent regulatory stance against XRP. Recall that the SEC, via its former director of corporation finance, Billy Boy Hinman, declared Ethereum a non-security in June 2018. However, the regulatory agency labeled XRP a security in a December 2020 lawsuit against Ripple. The SEC's inconsistent regulatory treatment of Ethereum and XRP birthed the ETHgate theory. On the one hand, some critics argue that the theory relates to Ethereum executives establishing relationships with internal SEC officials to create a favorable regulatory environment for ETH. However, others speculate that Ethereum also asked the SEC to attack XRP and Ripple along the way. And so I'll pause to note where I stand because there's no specific evidence of an attack where they're calling out where the ETH people are like, SEC, you go attack them sons of bitches at Ripple. I haven't seen any proof of that. If it exists, let me know. Happy to cover it on I will more than happily cover that on the channel. But the truth is that, ETH, at least at the time with the people in charge of the SEC at the time, they gave ETH a free pass. That's what it is. That's what ETHgate is. That's real. It's unquestionable. There's motive for it, especially if you look at Bill Hinman. It's documented. Jay Clayton helped Bill Hinman to write that. He reviewed the draft and gave pointers. Like all that happened. That's a real thing. That's ETHgate. Anyway, piece continues. Hoskinson, one of Ethereum's 8 founding members, characterized the first ETHgate theory as favoritism rather than corruption. Additionally, he pointed out that no evidence supports allegations that the SEC was bribed to attack Ripple and XRP. And so, folks, that's where this all began. And I agree that there isn't specific evidence of that, but he said that ETHgate was a grand conspiracy. And I don't want to go through the whole thing again, but when he was asked about that, he wasn't asked. I swear on my life, I've highlighted it, I've documented it. It's unequivocally true. He was not asked if the SEC was bribed to attack Ripple and XRP. He wasn't asked about that at all. He was asked broadly about what about Gary Gensler and the SEC, and then he said that what the people in the the ETHgate thing. He just said we created a grand conspiracy. So he lies about it. He knows what he's doing. He's not stupid. It's been laid out in front of him. He responded to one of my posts even. He knows what he's doing. It grinds my gears, folks. Getting all ground up. Piece continues. His recent comments on the matter elicited reactions within the XRP community, with Schwartz referencing Hinman's affiliation with Ethereum as potential evidence. This includes Hinman's consistent meetings with his former employer, Simpson Thacher and Bartlett, an Ethereum-related law firm, while he was still a director at the SEC. It is worth mentioning that Simpson Thacher paid Hinman over $9 million in profit sharing while still at the SEC. These events stoked the flames of the controversy surrounding ETHgate. Nevertheless, Hoskinson still does not think these developments prove anything, as he continues to ask for evidence showing that the SEC was bribed to go after XRP. And so there you go. It's like a bait and switch type of scenario. That's not what he was asked. That's not where this originated. You are not the victim, Hoskinson. You went out and attacked people, broadly the XRP community. And yeah, that pissed off a lot of people. And some of them weren't nice to you as a result because you were offensive towards them. Duh. It's just reality. In response, Schwartz stated that Hoskinson has already gotten the answer he seeks, but maintains that the SEC's fair treatment of ETH has nothing to do with its harsh actions against XRP. And so that's the post right there. It's actually on your screen. It's just amazing. Like, this is a grown-ass man, Charles Hoskinson, grown-ass man. The evidence, it's in front of everybody to see. I pointed it out. I don't know how many thousands, probably tens of thousands, more than that, have read the thread that I shared. It's been circulated so heavily, and it's not just that, not just for me. All those sorts of people call it. I called it out in particularly notable detail, and it's right there, and he knows it's there, and he knows people see it, and he just pretends like it doesn't. He just lies. It does exist though. It's shocking to me, because I know that he knows, and I know that he knows that I know. We all know. It's just like, this is not how adults are supposed to behave. And so it's really disappointing, because I'd always been a fan of Charles Hoskinson, and when this first went down, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I even put it out a video. I said, okay, well, look, he probably just misspoke, or it's some sort of misunderstanding, because clearly what he was asked about it, what he said, and then what he claims he said after the fact doesn't line up. Let's just give him a day or two. And then, no, he doubled, tripled down, and now we are a year and a half later, and he's still saying this crap. But we all know it's not true. Anybody that looks at it can see it's clearly not true. It's provably not true. But here we are. So basically what he's doing is, the people like us that are aware and informed and intelligent, he's willing to let us go, basically, and just no longer have us as fans. He doesn't care, because if he can trick everybody else, which is most people not diving into that level of detail, that's good enough for him. He's got about 1 million followers last I checked on X. Most people don't know these things, and so they're just going to keep trusting him, but he's being intellectually dishonest. This is not true. It's provably not true. I know it's not true. You know it's not true. We all know this. Anybody that's paying attention, he doesn't care, though. As long as most people don't know, he seems to just not care. But he is lying. He is deceiving you. And so I just don't trust him. I don't. Because he's not stupid. He knows what he's doing. Really burns my biscuits, son. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.